Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and who taught us in this ministry. Who rule well of GMS. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Alright, back with another lesson here. This lesson will be entitled Steps Towards Implementing the B System. Okay, and as here now, they have to rule out in 2027, okay, AI, in these new cars, AI, and surveillance, where AI basically could determine if you're fit to drive, if you're fit to drive, and handle the wheel, if it don't find, switch off the car. Okay, and this is just steps towards the MOTB system. Okay, ESO, EDOM, these elites. Okay, this is what they're coming with. All right. Okay, steps to the new world order. Okay, and got this video from a brother here. GMS, yeah, what's up? Hopefully elect 777. All right, subscribe to be edified. Okay, the name of his lesson was The Government Wants to Control All Cars Through AI by 2027. Hashtag Bible Prophecy. And this is what this devil wants to do. Okay, this is just steps towards that implementation of that mark. Okay, this is what we're heading to. All right, so I'll just read here. I'll type up on Google here. Will car surveillance be required in 2027? All right, this is what it says, and I'll go in the AI mode. It says the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act passed by Congress in 2021 included a statute requiring new cars to have driver monitoring systems designed to detect impaired drivers. The bill gave automakers 3 years to develop the technology, which should roll out in 2027, but they might miss the deadline. But this is what they want to do. Okay, let's see the AI mode. All right, it says yes. A federal mandate in the United States requires all new passenger vehicles to be equipped with technology capable of detecting impaired driving by 2027. Okay, so they coming down with great wrath. Okay, as the brother said in the video, they put this for so-called safety purposes, but really is for their, control. Okay, slowly getting you accustomed to this new world order they bring in here. Okay, this requirement is part of the section blah blah blah. Well, all right, that so this is what they go in here. So all this technology and stuff what they want to put in cars, in all cars is just steps towards as I said, that NWO. All right, this is what they're coming down with. Okay, so don't be ignorant to this. Don't be ignorant to this. All right, I'll just bring this precept here. This is Sirach chapter 5 and verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. Okay, don't be ignorant of this stuff. This is not for safety or for thing. They coming down with total control, draconian laws. All right, with the system. They coming down with that new world order. This is a part of the plan, the enterprise. All right, what they coming with. Okay, so we not ignorant of this here. This is prophecy. All right. Okay, Revelation 13 and 16. Okay, He's gonna cause all to take this. You're not gonna get access to your car or or anything, unless if they want it. Okay, this is how we're gonna be. They're gonna be surveillanced, everywhere in the system. All right. Okay. This is how they're making it. All right. So I'll just bring this. This is Revelation. All right. 12 verse 12. All right. And we bring these precepts over, but this is the prophecy we're speaking right now. Okay. I don't understand that. This devil is about to come down with great wrath. Okay, this will be his last attempt of power. And after that, whose whole kingdom, his heavenship, is going down. Alright? Revelation 12 verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea." Okay, the people of this earth, alright? He coming down, this is he coming down with great wrath upon the people. Alright? Let's check out this here. Birth me, Slakia. To Slakia birth me here. This was the X, I believe our website was coming up before. Just bear with me here. Alright. Well, I don't want to come up, but this is what they're coming down with. Alright, great wrath upon the people. Okay. With this here, now allowing you to, drive your car in peace. Okay. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay, this is a time he on. That's why he coming down, with great wrath. Okay, he gonna bring the system fast, Okay, this is what he want, Okay, it's total control. Okay, total control. This is what the elites, alright, are ordering. Okay, this is Job chapter 16 and I'll start verse 11. It says, "Power hath delivered me to the ungodly." Okay, Jake in the hand of the ungodly in captivity, subject to payments, subjected to his system, his rules. Okay, but now he coming down with great wrath, coming down, more draconian, with persecution, with this MOTB. You ain't gonna have a choice. Okay, alright, power hath delivered me to the ungodly Esau, alright, these Edomites, and turned me over into the hands of the wicked. Okay, I was at ease, but he hath broken me asunder. He hath also taken me by the neck and shaken me to pieces. Right, things seem okay, but this devil gonna come down with great wrath. He's gonna shake you up. Okay, this is part of the shaking up. Okay, you won't be able to drive your car freely. Alright. Okay, it says, "And set me up for his mark," for his target, his enterprise. Okay, "His archers compass me round about. He cleaveth my reins asunder, and doth not spare. He poureth out my gall upon the ground." Okay, with great wrath. Okay, this is what he coming with. Okay, you ain't gonna have a choice in the system. Okay, he gonna causeth all. Right? And this is unrighteous decrees. Isaiah 10 and 1. "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." Okay, this AI will have to choose if you're fit to drive. Okay, which all they want is draconian. They, total control, as I said. Okay, they want control over the whole earth. Okay, and the steps they coming down, with these Edomites, alright? Okay. To turn, verse 2, "to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. They coming down hard, you know, upon, Jacob, okay, with great wrath, all right, okay, so as I said, you're not gonna have, you're gonna be put with a choice to take this, or be faced with death, or excommunicated out of the system, you know. This is what it coming. I'll just read this. This is Revelation. This is what it coming with. This is Revelation, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. I'll start verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Okay, that goes into the AI, all right, robots, etc. Having his system, making his system mandatory. Okay, like this AI we're putting in cars here. Okay, it says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay, killed, execute, cast out of his society, or literally be killed, and this is the great hour of temptation was coming on the youth. Okay, this is why you had to pray up and fast, okay, and prepare your mind, for death. Okay, verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay, this is the plan where they coming down here. Right, it's gonna be mandatory. Okay, they making this system. You're gonna have like no choice. Okay, and that's when you're gonna be tested. All right. Okay. So I'll just bring this as Revelation 3 and verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. Okay, is when they made that mark, the MOTV system mandatory, across the earth. Okay, they're gonna try the whole earth, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Right, behold, so without that you'll be locked out of their society. Not be able to access things, get food, your needs, etc. But since we, the prophets, right, so they are GMS, keep the word, kept the word of the Lord's patience, okay, doing the work hastening the day, the Lord gonna keep us from that hour of temptation. All right, verse 11, it says, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast, and which thou hast, the truth, that no man take thy crown. Okay, that working, where you reaping, to get that penny, of salvation. Okay, so this is what it here, but not all of us gonna be killed. Okay, the Lord gonna lift for that standard at the end of the day. We're gonna be protected. Have security. All right, this is Daniel 12 and verse 1. All right, so the time of the end. This is where we are. Okay, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people Israel. Right, mainly the elect. Okay, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was. Okay, Esau coming down with great persecution, great wrath. There was a nation, and this goes into Jacob's trouble also. Jacob's trouble, all right, but it says was a nation even to this time, And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Okay, that's the elect. Okay, who the Lord kept from the hour of temptation. Verse 2. It says, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. Okay, some to everlasting life. Okay, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Okay, the 2/3 of our people, who put forth their hand to iniquity, accepting Esau ways, his system. Okay, they're gonna be thrown down with the beast. Alright? So don't be ignorant of this. This is just steps, towards, the system what this devil coming down with. Alright? Okay, so Lord's willing, this video was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who taught us in this ministry. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, Wa Abad Babal and Shalom.